Who's the best ghost-type Pokemon of all time? I randomly divided every single ghost-type Pokemon into a 1v1 and had the audience vote for who the better Pokemon is. The winner moves on to the next round until there's only one ghost Pokemon left. We got hundreds of thousands of votes throughout this tournament, so let's see what the Pokemon fans thought. Our first battle was a good one. Gourgeist vs. Dhelmise. The pumpkin crushed the crane. Goodbye, Dhelmise. The only thing you're hooking is down to the bottom of the barrel. Deleted with 41% of the vote. Then we've got a battle of the T. Sinistcha vs. Sinistea. People are not feeling the matcha twist. Okay, they went with Sinistea with 58%. Then Polteageist vs. Dusclops. They are still sucking on that tea, sipping it up, folks. It is Polteageist with 57%. I'm actually really surprised by this one. I thought the people would like Dusclops a bit more. I know I do. Hisuian Typhlosion versus Gengar. If you know anything about these polls, Pokemon fans typically lean towards the starters, but when you're against a demon ghost as popular and iconic as Gengar, you have to be the best of the best starter. Hisuian Typhlosion lost with 35% of the vote to Gengar's 65. Misdreavus versus Mismagius. Now, like I said, these polls were randomly decided. These matchups are completely randomized, so I feel bad for Misdreavus having to go up with its evolution. Obviously, it lost this one 20% to 80. Dreepy versus Decidueye was an easy one too, 83% going with Decidueye. Another one here, Litwick versus Chandelure. Round 1 has some pretty free wins, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, Chandelure has like 50 Litwicks on its body, so Chandelure won with 89%. How about Golurk versus Dragapult? And it's not close. Dragapult, of course, an iconic pseudo-legendary, 80% of the vote. It is a great Pokemon, we can't deny. We got Frillish versus Brambleghast. Not only is there a type advantage here, but there's also a fan advantage here. Brambleghast wins, but not by much. Pumpkaboo versus Banette. Now, I'm actually personally crushed by this one. I love Pumpkaboo, but Banette crushed Pumpkaboo with 69%. On-Edge versus Phantump. Two great first stage Gen 6 Kalos Ghost Pokemon. This could have gone either way, but I was pleasantly surprised that Phantump won this one with 62%. Cerulege versus Sandygast. Sandygast, you better close that mouth because the only words that are going to be coming out of it is, no, I lost. Okay, don't be a hater, Sandygast. Cerulege is an icon. You'll get there one day, Sandygast. 90% for Cerulege. Hauntor versus Rotom. Now, I'm not going to lie, I thought Hauntor was going to win this one, but I was wrong. Rotom and in all of its different forms. We all have so many memories with Rotom, and it got 57%. Oricorio Sensu Style versus Palossand. We got an Alola battle here, folks. Who's going to be left at Alola and who's going to move on to the next round? It's Oricorio, who lost with 35%. Didn't know so many people like Palossand. I'm a big fan of Palossand myself. Galarian Yamask versus Drifblim. Drifblim carrying off Galarian Yamask into the sky, then dropping it off, and then falling to the ground, and then it dies. That's unfortunate. Skeledirge versus Galarian Corsola. Now, I'm a big Galarian Corsola fan, but who am I kidding here? Of course, Skeledirge won this one with 83%. Alolan Marowak versus Drifloon. Yeah, all he's got to do is throw that boomerang, chop off those little, I don't know what are those, strings on Drifloon, and that balloon is floating up to the sky and never coming back. It got revenge on Drifblim. Golett versus Annihilate. Golett, you can try all you can, but obviously Annihilate annihilated you. Gimmighoul versus Dusknoir. It doesn't matter how much money you have, Gimmighoul, you are a loser. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, that was rude. Dusknoir, of course, won with 81%. It's one of the best ghost types of all time, in my opinion, so it's fair. Frostlass versus Ghastly. Another loss for the Gengar family. Ghastly dead at 23%. Houndstone versus Fluttermane. We now have a Paldean battle. Who's going to be left in Paldea? It's Houndstone. Well, you already got the gravestone for you, so it's going to be easy to host a funeral for Houndstone. Okay, we got Shuppet versus Yamask, and this is actually our closest matchup yet, folks. It is 53-47. Can you guess who got who? Yes, Shuppet won, just by a little bit. We got Runerigus versus Lampent. Jellicent versus Aegislash. This is very unfortunate for Jellicent, which I think is a great Pokemon, but Aegislash slashed it in half. No more bubbles for you. Okay, Cursula versus Trevenant. These are very much like walking on weird legs and having a bunch of things crawling out of them and spikes crawling out of them. They're pretty similar Pokemon, but they did not get a similar score. Trevenant won with 77%. Dracloak versus Doublade, a really good second stage battle here, and Dracloak won it. Duskull versus Goldingo. Wow, the people do not like the Goldingo line. Duskull, a first stage, beat Goldingo, and Goldingo got so much spotlight, I feel, in Paldea, and it's a really strong Pokemon too. People just really like Duskull, which I can get behind. I would have voted for Duskull too. Mimikyu versus Spiritomb. This is a really great matchup, but of course Mimikyu is an instant fan favorite from the day it got revealed. Mimikyu won. Poltergeist versus Basculegion. Folks, if you like matcha, this is not the video for you. I like matcha, but I made this video, so I have no choice. Basculegion destroying that pot of matcha. Hisuian Zorua versus Cofagrigus. We're seeing another moment here where a first stage is being a final stage. Hisuian Zorua winning with a huge chunk of the vote. Greavard versus Shedinja. Shedinja is fast, and it's speeding fast to the next round. Alright, this one we had an odd number, so we had to do 3 at a time. We had Hisuian Zoroark, Sableye, and Bramblin. Zoroark won by a lot. You could have put him against 5 different Pokemon. I don't think it made a difference. Alright, let's now move on to round 2. These are the Pokemon. Moving to round 2, we're going to randomize the positions all over again and have Pokemon fans vote again. We've got Decidueye versus Basculegion. Decidueye camped out on a tree just shooting arrows at the water. He's eating Basculegion for lunch. Fluttermane versus Gourgeist. Fluttermane, with its amazing special attack, used a dazzling gleam, and Gourgeist is pronounced dead. Halloween is over, and so is Gourgeist. Banette versus Bramblegast. 2 Bs, but the queen bee here is Banette with 82%. Phantump versus Palossand. You can throw Phantump against any final stage, I think, and it's winning for some reason. I love Palossand, so I'm sad to see it go, but you know what? Phantump is a really cute design. 70% is wild, though. Shedinja versus Duskull. This feels like a really close battle, but it wasn't. Shedinja won with 74%. Oof, this is a good one. Skeledirge versus Chandelure. Another case where being a starter is not enough. You have to be the best of the best to beat Chandelure. Chandelure won with 58%. Poltergeist versus Trevenant. You are watering Poltergeist. You're about to die, so you might as well water Trevenant with some fresh tea so it can be even stronger on the next round. I'm running out of fun things to say. Trevenant won with 82%. Annihilate versus Rotom. Now, of course, annihilated another Pokemon. Alright, Runerigus versus Drifblim. This one actually quite surprised me. Runerigus destroyed Drifblim. Goodbye. Gengar versus Shuppet. I don't even think I have to read the results. You already know. Gengar won with 92%, one of the biggest sweeps to date. Alolan Marowak versus Hisuian Zoroark. Which alternate form took the prize? Hisuian Zoroark did. Mimikyu versus Aegislash. Guys, this is a really good one. I mean, you could even say that this could be the final battle of the entire tournament, and I would believe you. The final 2 ghost icons from the 3DS era, and Mimikyu won. It was a close battle, but Mimikyu did win. Cerulege versus Mismagius. The people like Cerulege, 82%. Wow. Dracloak versus Hisuian Zorua. Hisuian Zorua crushed this. Frostlass versus Dragapult. It doesn't matter if you are super effective, Frostlass. Dragapult is still gonna crush you if the fans are by its side. So Dragapult beat Frostlass. I'm kind of sad about that. Dusknoir versus Sinistea. He just drank up that milkshake. Oh, it's over. Sinistea, you got nothing left. You are dead. Alright, it's now time for round 3. Again, let's look at all of the remaining Pokemon. Who are you rooting for? Okay, and now let's look at the new matchups. Oh, this is gonna be tough. There's some really good ones here. We've got Dusknoir versus Gengar. Dusknoir, you can try to beat up Gengar, but he is the OG of the Gen 1 Kanto, and you know those fans mean business. 81% to 19%. But hold your head up high, you're still great. Fluttermane versus Decidueye. Decidueye got a bow and arrow shot at her head, and oh my gosh, Fluttermane did not stand a chance against this iconic starter. Shedinja versus Runerigus. Again, catch me if you can, Runerigus, and you sure can't. Shedinja is charging on to the next round. Dragapult versus Cerulege. Ooh, these are probably the most popular of the new ghost type Pokemon, and it was a close one. One got 44% and one got 56%. You might think it would be the Pseudo. Pseudo's typically a really loved, but you'd be wrong. Ceruledge, cutting off the tail of Dragapult, fighting through all of the bombs and making it onto the next round. Now that's what I'm talking about. Hisuian Zoroark versus Phantump. Phantump, you had a great ride throughout this tournament. You've beat a lot of foes, but Zoroark is your worst enemy, destroying you with 85%. Now, this is sad. Hisuian Zoroark got a little too cocky because he now just lost his little son, Zorua, to a Trevenant. It was a close one though, Trevenant barely slipped by. Alright, Annihilape versus Chandelure. These matchups just keep getting better. Did the Chandelier win, or is Annihilape out for revenge? Oh, he's up for revenge. He's gonna swing from the top of the chandelier, off the chandelier, and he threw it to the ground and crushed it. Ouch. Mimikyu versus Banette. This one was not even close. Mimikyu with 84%. Alright, we're now moving on to round 4. These are the Pokemon that remain, and we have nothing but great matchups here, folks. Let's get right into it. Annihilape versus Gengar. Oof, Annihilape's punches are coming to an end because when he punches Gengar, it just phases through him, and Gengar's like, haha, and then he dies. Okay, next up, Mimikyu versus Ceruledge. Honestly, I would have totally thought Mimikyu would have won this one, but Ceruledge is on a hot streak. He destroys Mimikyu. He says, your little tricks aren't doing anything for me. Decidueye versus Hisuian Zoroark. Guys, I just keep on getting surprised by these results. I thought Decidueye was a lock for at least top 4. Hisuian Zoroark is another Pokemon's worst enemy, deleting another starter. Shedinja versus Trevenant. You can only move for so fast for so long, Shedinja. Trevenant wins. Alright guys, we are getting to the very end here. The top 8. The top 4. Gengar versus Ceruledge. Is it the Gen 1 icon or the New Age icon? The fans are feeling it. 58% for Ceruledge. Wow. And then we got Hisuian Zoroark versus Trevenant. And Hisuian Zoroark crushed this one too, by a huge margin. What the heck? Our finale is Ceruledge versus Hisuian Zoroark. Could you have imagined? I know a lot of people are going to say recency bias, but I actually do think that these are 2 of the best ghost types of all time. I'm not mad at it. Would it be my top 2? No, but I'm not mad at it. I think these 2 are great. These are both in my top 10 for sure. But who won? Ceruledge or Hisuian Zoroark? Before we find that out, let's see who got 3rd place between Trevenant and Gengar. It was Gengar with 73%. Alright, Ceruledge versus Hisuian Zoroark. Dun 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 dun. The winner is Hisuian Zoroark. If you like this video and you're happy with the results or mad at the results, make sure to comment down below all of your opinions down below and tell the Pokemon fans how wrong they were. And make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. I could be making more. I did a ton of other polls. Fire, Pokemon, water, Pokemon. Okay, we got more videos just like this if you're interested. Alright, see you next time.